Welcome all. In this session, we are going to discuss about how to find elements in Cypress. For that purpose, we will take the help of the get method. Okay. For this demo purpose, I will take the example of, you can say, Amazon. In Amazon, I will try to enter some data in the this search text field. Okay. So for that purpose, let me open my code here. Okay. This is my test scenario. In the test scenario, you can focus on this thing that I have just, you can say, use the visit method, cy.visit method to open the application amazon.in my browser here. Now, after that, if you want to enter the data in the, you can say that this search text field of Amazon, you have to find this element and then only you can enter the data. Okay, those so main in this session, we are going to cover that how we can find the element. Okay, so for that purpose, we can do one thing. We can use a method that is cy.get, and in this get method you have to pass the CSS selector. Okay, so in this cy.get method, whenever you pass any CSS selector of a web element, it will find it. Okay, so the important thing is that Cypress by default support the CSS selector. It means if you want to find this search text field in your Cypress automation, you have to write a CSS selector for that. Okay, so I will, first of all, I will tell you about that how you can find it easily using the inbuilt feature of the Cypress. Okay, so now for that purpose, let me, you can say, go to the code, and for the time being, let me remove this part. Okay, and remove this part. Let me save it. Simply run this code. Simply run the automation with Amazon.com. Okay, so now let me start it. I have started this one, and now it will show me the suits. I will select my suit, which contains the, you can say, automation code. Okay, now it is running, and when it will run, it will, you can say, oh yeah, it has launched it. Now I will show you that what is the inbuilt way or inbuilt feature of Cypress to find the CSS selector. And not only it find the CSS selector, actually it gives you the complete code to find the element, means cy.get and the CSS selector. For that purpose, you have to simply click on this one. You can say that it is the locator. It is the, you can say, web element locator, inbuilt Cypress web element locator. Click on this one and now click on desired element. I want to find this one, simply click on this. When I click on this, you will see that it has already created, you can say, locator for that. Not only CSS selector, it has created the complete code cy.get so that you can directly use in your automation. Not only this one, whatever element you want to find it, simply have to click on this one. And after that, when you click on any one, like I will click on this one, like sign in. So when I click on, you can see that it has created the code for the sign in element to find the sign in link. In the same way, you can click on Amazon TV, anything. In simple words, this is called Cypress inbuilt element locator. So when you click on this one and you click on any element, it will give the locator. So let me again click on this search text field. We are going to enter some data here. So I need to find this element. So I click on that. Now simply have to copy this one, click on this one, and it will copy the code. And it is very easy. Now simply you need to go to your code and simply paste it. Even you don't need to write cy or something like that. And now how I can show you that it is working fine. So for that purpose, I'm using a type function here. Okay, this is not a actions we are not going to cover in this, you can say, session. Different type of action like type, like click, we are going to cover in a separate session. In this session, our focus into so that how we can find the element. Okay, and what is the different ways to find an, you can say, element. So here I will write something like, I will write SAMSNG. Okay, now I will save it, and you will see that when this code will run, it will find this search text code in the Amazon and will enter the sunset. Okay, for that purpose, let me save it here. Okay, and before that, let me close the instance. Okay, and now go to my code and let me save it so that it will open a fresh, you can say, window. Now I have saved the code here, and now I will simply go to the Cypress and start my new instance. So when I start, it will ask for the Pradeep suite, okay, which contains my test cases. Let me run it, and now you will see that it will run and it will launch the application URL as well as it will enter the Samsung page. Yeah, now you can say how easy it is to find a locator. Okay, now Now, what is the second step? Second step that we want to click on this submit button, or you can say search link, so that it can trigger it. It can trigger the search. Again, we will do the same thing. I can click on this one, and I will click on this search link or submit button. I click on that. It has created the code for me. Simply you have to copy it from here and now go to your code. So now let me do one thing. Let me close this instance. Okay. And now I will go to the code and simply, you know that, simply I will enter this code. Okay. So how easy it is that inbuilt is it is not only creating the CSS selector, even it is creating the whole code to find the element like cy.get. But somebody asks you what is the function to find the element in Cypress. The function name is get function, and you have to pass the CSS selector. It also support, you can say by default it supports the, you can say, CSS selector, but if you want we can use the XPath also. But how it support the XPath also, for that purpose we have to do some different thing, and that we will cover in a separate session. Okay, so now I'm going to call the method here, click here, so that you can see the impact on the screen. So I will call the click method here. Now I'm going to save it, and now let me run it. So again, I will run it, and you will see that this time it will, first of all, okay, it will let me open my suite first of all. Yeah, now let me click on Pradeep suite. So it will open the application, then browser, then enter the application URL of Amazon, then enter the Samsung, and when it enter the Samsung, after that it will click on this one, this search link. Okay, now just see that. You see that, yeah, excellent. You can see that it has clicked on that, and that's why you are able to see the result on the Samsung. So you can see that how easy it is. Means you have to simply find the element, click on this locator, and whatever element you want to select, like you want to automate the signage, definitely you are going to click on this. Okay, and you can click on that. So you find the element, you can copy it from here, and then you can utilize. So I hope you understand that how we can use this inbuilt feature to find the element. Okay, now I will show you one more interesting thing. For that purpose, let me close it. Okay, and now let me go to the code. There is another feature of, you can say, a get method, is that get method also provides you the alias functionality. Now the question is that what is alias functionality? Okay, let me show you one thing here. Let me remove the Samsung from here. Okay, I'm only finding the element. So actually what is happening, suppose take the example, it has created the CSS selector which is very long, like this one. You can say it is very long, and you want to use a small name. You want to use a small name for that. So for that purpose, what you can do, you have called the method cy.get, and after that you have to call a method dot as. So you can call this method as, and it is something like that. In the as method, you can give a short name to your element. You can give the short name to your this CSS selector, or you can say locator. So I am going to say that, for example, SEARCH search field. Okay, so I've given the small name. Okay, even if you want to use very small name, you can use that. Only what is the purpose of that? Whenever I'm going to run this code, after running this method, this big, you can say this big CSS selector will be presented in the small form. If you want to see, let me make more small. SENFIELD. Okay, so you can give any small name. Okay, that should be meaningful. But here I want to show you that it is a big name and you can use a small name. Now you can use this small name to find the element. Let me show you how. Again, you have to write the code same, this time cy.get. And in this get method, okay, you can use this alias also. You can use this alias, but how you have to use it? For that purpose, you have to, whenever you are using direct CSS selector, you have to write the CSS selector. But whenever you are using alias, like this, this type of alias which you have created, then you have to write at the rate, and then you have to give the alias name. It will automatically, Cypress will automatically find that, okay, this is the at the rate, means it is an alias of any element. So it will find in the previous one. Then on this one, you can enter whatever action you want to perform, you can perform it. Let me call the type method. Okay, now let me call the type method, and this time I will search and okay, okay. So I'm going to show you something different. Second thing that I'm going to do the same thing for my, you can say below one. Here you can also see that navigate, search, button, submit. It is a long field. I can do one thing. I can first of all create an alias for that. How can do dot as, using as function? I will create an alias, means I will create a small name for this CSS selector. So how I can say simply SERCHBTN. It means I have given a small name, search BTN, to this large CSS selector for that element. And now I can use this alias in my code to perform some action. Again, cy dot, and we have to use a get function. I have already told you, whenever you are going to use any alias in the get function, you have to first of all write @ whenever you are writing @ it means it automatically understand that you are using any alias, not the CSS selector. Now this is the alias, copy it and paste it here. And now dot, and just do some action. So I'm going to use this action, click here. So now in this way, you can say that whenever you have a, you can say you have a big locators. In that case, you can save it as it's in the small name as its alias, and then you can use the get function @ and provide the alias to make the action. So like I have given, this is the big name. I created the alias search button, and now in the get function, I'm using @ search button and performing it. Now let me save this code and let me run it and see that it's working or not. So this is the very good feature, because sometimes you have a very big CSS selector, and in that case, this alias is going to work you. Now let me select my Pradeep suit here, and now you can see that it is going to run it here. Okay. So now it is running. It is running. Okay. Amazon is URL is open. Now enter the Nokia. Excellent. And now you have to click on that. So you can say that everything is working fine. So using this alias feature, you can make your small, you can make big CSS selector in the small form. I will show you that there are many places where you will see very long CSS selector. Let me take the example of this one itself. If you take the example of signing in, it is a big one. Let me take the example of Amazon Mini. You can say that how big it is. So instead of making this big one, you can use an alias function to make a small locator, and then you can use in your subsequent code. Okay, so here we are using the inbuilt feature of the Cypress to find the CSS locator, and you can say the complete code here. But you should able to write your CSS selector by your own, because first thing is that sometime it is providing the CSS selector and complete code, that is good, but sometime it create the CSS selector that are not good. Okay, so in that case, you should write your own CSS selector. Second thing is that whenever you go to the interview, in the interview, you can't say that every time you are okay, you are using this feature, that is good, but you should able to write your own CSS selector, because we have different type of ways, so that you can create in the very good stable CSS selector. So how we can create that? For that purpose, I'm going to take a separate session. After this, in the next video, I will take a separate session for that. In that, you will see that how we can create the CSS selector perfectly. And using that session, you can also utilize in other tools also, because that session is how you are going to create your CSS selector. It doesn't matter you are using you can say Cypress, or you're using Selenium, or you're using Protector, any tool you are using. CSS selector means you are going to find the element. It is a way to find the element. So we will see that this thing in my next upcoming video. If you have any doubt in this video, you can put your as a comment in this video. And if you have not subscribed my channel till now, you can subscribe it. Thank you.